and they distribute it as they will. That's why you shouldn't get married. It's an old motto. You should have a woman or women you deal with, and it is transactional until you find that 20% that might be a queen worth merging with. But it's very rare that you're going to find a queen in this hot mess of insincerity. Because that's all it is. It's a hot mess of insincerity. The women are trained to make you think you're no good, but their life reflects failure. Their Facebook, their Instagram, their TikTok, it all reflects failure. You can look, women who get on there and talk about men, I'm not mad at you for talking about men because I know it's gonna be a dick in your mouth later on. When women talk crazy about men, I don't never be mad at them. I'll be like, yeah, all right, you either gonna have a pussy in your mouth or a dick in your mouth.
One or the other.
Because the desires of sex is a very powerful desire, and once you start indulging in it, I mean, especially men, once we get to having sex, we love it. It's part of our coping with the world mechanism. But I'm saying women do the same thing. All these so-called relationship gurus and all that, they're sex-driven creatures. They're sex-driven creatures. I'm talking about the men and the women. The so-called female doctors, they're on these shows making a fool out of themselves in front of anybody with common sense. And I'm not just talking about the one that I have issues with because she went on the Breakfast Club and lied on me, Miss Bryant. I'm not talking about her. There's a new one out there, and she's talking about all these standards. And because Nick Cannon is a gentleman, he went very mild on her.
Corey's talking about someone who we've spoken about on this channel before, Dr. Sarah Fontenot. And she actually was on with Nick Cannon on her It's Giving podcast, and they were talking about her favorite topic right now these days, that financial component of the relationship. She wants to ask Nick Cannon if he would be with a super successful, monetarily successful woman. And his answer, I think, wasn't the answer that she necessarily wanted. Let's take a listen to what they were talking about. First off, the title of this is called Promiscuity is a Mental Illness. So I guess she invited Nick Cannon there to give him a piece of her mind. But I think Nick Cannon has seen enough. I think Cam Newton has seen enough. And now when given the opportunity, they're going to be polite, but they're going to be firm.
From my perspective, you got to look at it like this. Marriage is for two people to become one. Mm-hmm. It's a contract. Mm-hmm. It's what you're building. Mm-hmm. When I built what I needed to build on my own, what do I need to sign a contract for?
Damn.
Like if I built this.
Damn. Now that is a harsh dose of reality I don't think she's necessarily ready for. The fact that he's built something already. He doesn't want you to come along. This is what I was saying about a lot of time these guys don't respect you because you waiting for them at the finish line. He done already ran a whole marathon and now you come along with your hand out and you expect to be an equal partner. That's why those relationships don't work. And that's why I think it's misguided for women to keep harping on the issue that they want these rulers of the universe without helping them get to that place.
Sign a contract for it. It's like if I built this skyscraper, and then I come out my skyscraper and I start looking to see the cottages, I'm like, I'm already good. Like, and it's about being equally yoked. But I get that if I would have started when I was building my skyscraper, if I had a teammate and a partner that was going to help me build this skyscraper, then I'm gonna rock with that person. This half day skyscraper, and we got memories, and this journey was amazing, and we have a lot to be grateful and thankful for because we built this skyscraper together. But I'm over here in this skyscraper by myself.
What if she also had a skyscraper and y'all built a bridge?
I only need one skyscraper.
Really? So would you be with like a successful, like a monetarily super successful woman?
At this point, no.
Do you
where I'm at, but again, because that's only because I'm looking to cultivate and protect my own peace. Where I've been in a scenario where I was married to somebody who had multiple skyscrapers way bigger than mine.
Carey, yeah.
And that was an amazing experience. But now...
But it didn't cultivate peace?
It did during that time. But now I'm talking about, I was a different person at 28 than I am at 44.
Right.
You know
Thank
what
you.
I mean? So now I'm just like, yo, I got to balance everything that I currently have in to be like, what someone else has
doesn't matter
to me.
So
you know what I mean? More or less.
So do you think that women that are more successful than the usual are less likely to be nurturing? Like,
No.
do you feel like you wouldn't want a woman that's monetarily successful because she's not going to bring you the things that bring you peace?
Nah, not at all.
No?
It's just that that's not what I'm seeking. I'm so complete.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and content with where I am in life that I'm not looking outside of myself for happiness.
Isn't that interesting? That is exactly what we've been trying to say, is that when you get it in that way, which is very possible that a woman like Sarah could end up married to a successful man. And, you know, she's turning her nose up at all these $70,000 guys that come through that are trying to make it in the world. But when you get with the guy that actually has already created that wealth, what does he need you for? What does he need you for? That's why you come in a different way. Now, am I saying it's impossible for him to respect you and love you? No. There's always exceptions to the rule. But generally, you're going to be seen as a good time. You're going to be seen as somebody that is, in addition to the lifestyle that he's built, the skyscraper, as Nick Cannon calls it, that he's built. You're the spoils of war. You're not sitting there in a foxhole with him, helping him build. So somebody who got with a woman at 21 and they were both broke, like you hear women saying they don't want to have struggle love. Well, then you're not qualified then. You're not qualified if you do not want to struggle. That is complete work avoidance of what a relationship is. And the fact that you don't understand that and you've stepped out there and you're saying that this is something else, well, maybe you're not prepared to be in a relationship long term. And I've heard some women resign to the fact, oh, well, I don't need a relationship. Maybe I could just be chill. Maybe I want my peace. I want to be this. I want to be that. That is your right. But it is also your right to realize that that is outside of the norm. That is a counter culture to what we are doing traditionally. And they had names for women like that in the past. They called them spinsters. They called them old maids. You getting my drift here? So you can't have it both ways now. You know, if you want to rebel against the culture, then you have to take all that comes with rebelling against the culture. If you want to rebel against normality and traditionalism, you have to take all that comes with that.
There's a new one out there, and she's talking about all these standards. And because Nick Cannon is a gentleman, he went very mild on her. But he did say, because she was talking about fakeness, and he was like, but you got weave in your hair, right? And she froze for a second.
I know I'm a walking contradiction.
Yeah.
I know that there are parts of me that really just don't make any sense, but two things can be true at once, you know, and I'm okay with that. So I feel like for me, I hear everything you're saying and I speak with conviction because I live the life that I talk about in front of these cameras.
Yeah.
And I love that for me because there's a lot of people.
That's real talk.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that be in front of these cameras one way and then they live in a whole different life.
But shouts out to them because like they trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but don't give advice on what you're the opposite of.
Why?
That's crazy to me.
Why?
That's crazy.
Everybody else does it.
Nah.
Everybody's living a facade.
Damn.
I ain't met somebody who wasn't.
I don't feel like I live a facade.
You do.
I don't. A facade?
Sarah, is that your hair?
No, I got extra. And I'm wearing makeup.
You got on makeup.
Wow.
These are facades as in society that we have stepped in. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm saying. I love all the facades. You look gorgeous sitting here.
I like the facade.
But it makes you feel good.
Because it's all a fake display of nonsense. If you want to go to school and become something in society, or if you have money, you cannot have a relationship with a woman that has marriage. You cannot have a relationship in a woman where, what is it called when you live with somebody long enough?
Common law.
A common law. You're going to lose, dog. You have to have a transactional relationship with the person you with, and when they get tired of that, you start a transaction with somebody else.
Ooh, that's a paradigm shift right there. This is prescriptive, though. What he's saying right now is prescriptive, because based on how a lot of these women are moving, like, you would think that is exactly what they wanted. That they value and covet a man and his possessions. And that is the most important thing. So that's where you get this mentality from. That's where you get someone who would only want to deal with you in a transactional fashion. Now, ladies, you have to ask yourself, is that what you want? Is that the agreement that you want going forward? Because if it's not, you got to be clear. You got to understand that that is what you're signing up for. When you're out here listening to these get the bag coaches, when you're out here listening to literal strippers and prostitutes on dating advice, that is what the agreement will be. And I think that is the shift that has happened here. We stopped listening to women of wisdom, and we started listening to women that have an agenda, women that are also working for their money, if you get my drift. They don't care about love. They compartmentalize that and they block it out so that they can continue on their way. You know, like, it's a sad life. But a lot of women in their young age now, they're hearing this information and they're saying this is how to get it, but they're not realizing the consequences that they'll pay for that in the future. But anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Fawcett Media.